Hi everyone, and I thought just before I start the video I'd show you the Yongnuos. We have the on and off switch on the side, which is, sorry I'm using my camera to do this, we have the on and off switch which is here. When you turn them on you'll see the two green lights come on. This is the top of the trigger obviously. Then you've got the other side, which on this side you've got one button, 2 button and your PC sync port. The first button is the channel set button, which is, I'll just put it back down here, you probably see it better. The first button here is the channel set, and the second button is your test fire. You'll just see that the phase 1 of the review in a minute, but I'm just going to put this on first. I'm not going to show you two. All you get in the kit is 2 of these, that's it. You don't get no sync cables, no nothing, you just get 2 of these, that's it. So there's no point, and there's the underneath. The battery door feels nice and solid. There are any little batteries that are in there, they'll probably last a year, if not more. And it's nice, and they feel a lot more thicker than Pixel Kings. Not thicker as in they are thicker, they just feel more beefier, if you ask me. And they work fantastic. And you'll see you get 2 of them obviously for 75 quid or whatever. So you'll see in the review after, I'll show you part 1 of how the ETTL and off-camera flash worked. If they keep working as they are, I'll give them another couple of weeks to a month, and if they're still working reliably, which they have been as you'll see on the video coming up, I'll definitely buy another 2 for what they cost. And these can be used as transmitters or receivers. So there isn't a transmitter or receiver, you just put anyone on your camera and it's a transmitter, and anyone on a flash and it's a receiver. Hi everyone, and this is just a quick, I've just been watching the video back that I'd recorded when I was messing around with the triggers, and I was sort of getting a little bit confused myself, and I didn't want to confuse you guys. So I'm going to start the video in a minute and you'll see it's going to start from me trying to get the things working. Well, not trying, I'm going to get the flashes working in ETTL. But first of all, without trying to sound like I don't know what I'm on about, I'm going to just tell you that this, if you look at this screen here now, this is the video that you're going to watch. This is the back of the screen while I'm taking the pictures. Now, over here to the left, to the camera, video camera's left, was an off-camera flash with a trigger on it, which was my YN622C, and then I also had on camera pointing up to the ceiling to fill the shadows. Now, it won't make no sense to you now, but it will do in a minute when you start to watch the video. I had an on-camera flash, me Canon 580EX, firing up to the ceiling to fill in the shadows, because, let me just try to remember this now, I'm going to tell you my findings. What happens is, if you want to fire, like I've only got 2 triggers at the minute. If I had 3 triggers, I could probably have 2 off-camera flashes, one on the left, one on the right, and then put them one on group A, one on group B, and manually control them from the camera. Or you can select ETTL, and they do work on the ratios. Even now, with an on-camera flash and an off-camera, this is what I'm going to do now in the bit of the video when it starts. You'll see that you can still use ratios. It'll still use your on-camera, your off-camera flash and the on-camera on ratios. You've got to change the firing group in your camera's menu from all to group A and B, and the transmitters and the Pixel Kings, the YN622Cs, it automatically changes the groups for you. So if you've just firing them both on group A, when you select A and B, what I noticed was that my transmitter on my camera, it automatically put that on group B and the off camera on group A. But the ratios worked, and you're going to see it in a minute, but I hate ratios. I don't think they work right for me. It doesn't give me what I want. What I bought these for was because I like the ability of having an off-camera flash and being able to control it from the camera's menus, and having an on-camera, especially at weddings. You're going to see now what that does for me, because if I want to photograph a bride and I want to bring in a key light, if I want to get an ambient light reading and it is 80th of a second, or say 100 of a second at f3.5 and my ISO's at 800. If I want to then lighten the shadow up, because I like to get a loop lighting pattern, and I want to lighten the shadow up, I've either got to slow my shutter down, which if I'm at 80 or 100, I don't really want to do that. I could, but if I've got an on-camera flash that can work, I can just turn that on and fire that as well. And then if it's working on ETTL, I can just turn it up or down a bit, and I can take control of the shadow without having to use my shutter speed. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, you could take it off camera as well and have a flash on the left and a flash on the right and do the same thing. Yes, and that is what I'd like to do, but it takes more time when you're at a wedding, and it's feasible just to already have one light. If I've got one assistant, one light, I can quickly go bang, 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 and if I need to fill in the shadow, if I can do it with a shutter speed, I'd do it with a shutter speed for the ambient, but if not, I know I can pop the on-camera flash on, turn it on, bang, and fill in that shadow. And that's why I've bought them. But what I've found out is when you select the mix mode that they offer, let me put it this way. If I put the off-camera flash in ETTL, you don't have to mess around turning your flashes into master and slave. You don't have to do any of that. You just use the menus and it does it all for you. But if I tell my off-camera flash, the one to the left over here, to fire in ETTL, I can turn on my on-camera as well, but it takes the reading from the flash nearest to the subject. So what was happening when I turned on my on-camera flash, it wasn't working right, and you'll see on this part of the video, the first part, you'll see I used the ratios for the on-camera and the off-camera, and it didn't quite cut it. So I decided to press the set button on the camera, on the transmitter, and hold it in for 3 seconds. And what that does for you is it makes it so that your on-camera flash fires in ETTL like normal, like you ain't got any triggers on at all, and it fires your off-camera, but you've got to walk up to the flash and manually adjust it, and that you'll see me do that in a minute. I'll walk up to the off-camera, get the power right, and then I'll pop my on-camera, I'll turn it on, and that'll work in ETTL. So if I adjust the exposure compensation for the flash, it'll only adjust on the on-camera flash. It doesn't adjust the off-camera. Now, I know people are probably thinking, well, but John, you've got to walk up to your flash that way, and manually you can't use the menu then. And this is true. So that's a bit of a bum, that you've got to walk up to the off-camera flash and manually adjust it. But bearing in mind, that's only if you use the ETTL pass-through. If you're not using the pass-through on camera, that's not true. If I had another receiver, I could quickly take my on-camera flash off and put it on that. Then I could manually adjust a group A and a group B from the Canon menu. I'll repeat this, and it's only if you want to use the pass-through feature and you want to have your off-camera in manual, which you've got to have really, because unless you want to do it on ratios, but I've just said that works a bag of poo for me. Watch the result I get now by doing it this way, and it's a lot more better that way. So this is how I worked it: off camera, in manual, and my on camera in ETTL to bounce up to the ceiling. That will change when I buy another couple of transmitters and another couple of receivers. I'll probably change that, and I won't bother with the ETTL pass-through. I'll have one on the left for the key light, one on the right for the fill light. They'll both be in manual because I still don't like ETTL when I'm at weddings. I like to better go bang, 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 and you'll watch me do that in a minute. When I get the flashes both that I'm happy with, I can go bang, 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 and 20 shots are all the same. One other thing that the manual says, which I found was, you'll see me, it'll happen to me in a minute on the video, and it's actually a good thing. It says that when you use the ETTL pass-through, which is to have mix mode, when you use mix mode, so you hold the channel set button on the camera's transmitter for 3 seconds, like I've said, it says that your on-camera flash defaults to ETTL and you've got to use ETTL. But what I found out is, you'll see in a minute on the video, I actually knocked the button on the flash and I put it into manual on the camera. and I still could, so I could have the on-camera flash in manual, and I could adjust it in manual as well. But in the book it says it's automatically defaults to ETTL, and when you look in the camera's menu, when you use mix mode, all the others are greyed out for manual mode. But you can actually physically just press the manual button on my Canon 580EX, which is up here on the camera, and it let me go into manual as well. So if I want, in this way that I'm set up, I can use the on-camera flash in manual. So if I'm bouncing off of a wall, I can just set it at, say, 1/4 power, and you'll see me do it in a minute. You'll see me do exactly that, and I can go bang, 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 and I can do the same. I am going to do some more parts to this review. This is more to do with what I bought them for, which is the ETTL pass-through, meaning I can have an on-camera flash, and that's one of the main reasons why I changed. And plus, they have a test fire button, so you can disable the flash mode on your flash. So let it go to sleep in 10 seconds, and just before you're going to take your pictures, you can press your test button. It'll wake all your flashes up and fire them, and that's a huge bonus. So anyway, we'll carry on with the video now, because it's going to jump in with quite a bit missed out that I felt that on the video it didn't work out that good. So I thought I'd just talk to you about that. Anyway, don't forget, video starts with me with an off-camera and an on-camera. Well, I don't take the flashes, they stay exactly as that. Off-camera to the left, on-camera bouncing off my ceiling, and I'm going to use the ETTL ratios now. I will let it go to auto, why not? Right, both flashes are on auto now. For some, my rate, yeah, if you leave the group on all, you need to turn it to AB. Now what's going to happen, if you look, my ratio button's lit up. And the good thing about these is, without going into master and slave, the camera has automatically put the off-camera flash over there in group A, and it's put the on-camera flash into group B. And it's done that itself, but you can manually go and override it by going to change it. But the camera is quite clever, and the only reason why I know that this one is in group B on the camera is because when I press the shutter button, I see the B flicker, and it's telling me that this one's on B, so I know that the off camera's A. So what I'll do is, oh god, I'm pressing the wrong bloody button, sorry guys. So I'll just go check my ratio settings. This is why I don't like ratios. I'll go put it 8:1 to the A side. So the A side, which is the off camera, should be 8 times the on camera, and the on camera's bouncing off the ceiling. Bang. So if we look at that, in fact I'll just turn some no, that's actually not quite as bright as it's looking on the video camera. So now I'll do the ratios. I mean, obviously, ideally for this to really probably work perfect, the on camera flash needs to actually be off bloody camera, but obviously I've only got it. So in all fairness, I'm using the ratios and I'm actually using the flash on camera, so it's transmitting the signal to the other and receiving its own signal. So let's go now, go to the other side. Well, let's go and knock it to a 2:1 and take the picture again. Let's zoom in. You see, look what happens, look. So now it has knocked, because the key light is on the left hand side, it has adjusted the right hand light. So if we go again, I just don't like the kit this way, I'd rather use manual. So let's go to, this is now, should turn the left light down, and the right, yeah, it has actually, the right light slightly stronger than the left now, which is the bounce. I mean, you're not really seeing it perfect on the video camera, because I'm looking at my camera screen and video looks quite a bit brighter, but it's not responded, that don't look correct for me. I'd rather do this. Let me hold that channel set button, go. Right, and it's blinked at me. So now I'll just go back into my camera's menu. My on camera's locked into ETTL. I don't know what my off camera's doing, I'll just have to go check it. Right, it's in manual at a 30-second power. I'll just turn my off camera off for a minute. My on camera off. Right, so that's too powerful for me off camera. So I shall, what is that on there? So I'll go into my flash control. Oh, not my ratios, sorry. I'm getting confused myself, look. So that's in manual, and you have to put it in all. And we'll go on. Oh, here's me, I'm daft. I've got to go and adjust it from that. Sorry, I'm trying to see. This is where I've just got confused myself. I'm trying to turn the off-camera flash, but in mix mode I can't turn it down from camera. I've got to go to the flash itself. So that's the only downfall in mix mode, where a minute ago when I had the flash in manual firing on its own without using mix mode, I could control it from the camera's menu. So now if I take a shot again, there you go, say we're happy with that. I know it's still looking a bit bright. Then I can turn on the on camera in ETTL. I'll tell the on camera flash to fire one stop underexposed. So now key light on left in manual. I had to adjust it from the flash though in mix mode again. I'll say that because I want to be really clear, and I think it's quite important to know this. And I'm going to fire the on camera now, bouncing off the ceiling, bang. And if we just, now for some reason that's totally not just messed up, so we'll try it again. A bit of a sporadic there, you sometimes do, it didn't fire on its own, but sometimes with ETTL if you take too long in taking the shot. So if you look at the first one, that's just the key light on the left and then bouncing off the ceiling. Best to look at this shadow up here to really see it. I'll take another one now. Oops, I'll take another one now with zero compensation on the on-camera flash. And we'll have a look at the difference. Yeah, you can see. So let's delete the middle one. And there you go, one flash in manual, been adjusted from the flash itself, and then on camera ETTL, bang, for a bit of fill. And that's what really gets that's what gets my vote for weddings, because I ain't got to have another flash off camera. I can quickly flick it on. Plus in the mode it's set in now as well, I can just turn the off camera flash off and walk around all day firing my flash as it is, and then after that I can, when I'm ready to turn on my off camera, I can just say to my assistant, or if I've got it on a stand, I can just run over and turn the other one on and it'll start transmitting. And maybe when I get another two, because I'm going to buy another two Yongnuos, but I want to make sure that these are reliable first. There's no point going out and spending another 75 quid if I'm going to find these are going to fire sporadic. So let's just scroll through my pictures. This is one I did upstairs, off camera flash in manual, in mix mode. For some reason I seem to like using mix mode, and then bouncing off the ceiling with the on camera in ETTL. The on camera in mix mode, I will state it again, the on camera always in mix mode, it always defaults to ETTL, so you can't use it in. So if you have a look at the difference of that shadow, look, bang, see the difference. Then there's a bit of a, I'll just delete that one. I think this is where, if you look at the beginning, I used the exposure compensation on the camera, which didn't affect the off camera, to darken the shadow a bit more. So that's fully dark, and that's just bringing the ratio up. And again, then we've got the on camera itself, then with the ETTL, and then I turn the ETTL on camera flash down a bit to darken that shadow. So we've got a nice off camera, in manual, on camera. I'm not going to bore you anymore. So that's just my first part. I'll probably do 5 parts or something like that. But that's how to, because nobody seems to have done one on the mix mode. That's why I've started off on the mix mode. I can do you a video showing you the triggers, but you'll have seen them anyway on the internet. There's no point. They're dead easy to set up. They feel more heavier and more sturdier than the Pixel Kings. They seem to be working fine. And like I said to you, you hold the button, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and let it flash. You can't see it, but the green light flashed. If I now go back into my menu, I can now turn my off camera flash into manual, turn my on camera off, say, and I've now got control of my on camera flash, and I'll turn it down to 128 power. and you'll see I'll just turn it up without going. So for those of you thinking, well, I want to control it off camera, you still can. And you should see, I'll just bring that in. There's the first one, and there's the second. But what's confusing is when you want to use your on camera. So you can still use off camera flash in manual and from your menus. So don't think you can't, I've just done it there. The only difference is when you want to use the mix mode like I were doing, you've got to then, when you turn your transmitter on your PC, on your camera, when you hold it, your channel set button for 3 seconds and it blinks at you, then you've got to go to your off camera and manually adjust it. Which won't be a problem because you'd usually have an assistant holding that flash anyway. Then you can quickly, if you want to, you can either use your on camera flash, you don't have to use it, you can turn it off. But if you're not going to use your on camera flash, you might as well have your off camera so you can control it. So turn the mix mode off. You can turn the mix mode off on the fly, as we've just done. You've seen I've just gone to mix mode off and I'm now manually controlling the power again without going up to it. So we'll turn it back down, bang, and you'll see that's me controlling the off camera only. I can quickly hold the channel set button again for 1, 2, 3, and it's just blinked at me. So now I can turn my on camera on. Go to my flash control, external, and you'll see that menu is gone. So now my off camera's firing in manual, and you can see we ain't got no ratio. So now, for some reason, my on camera's saying it's going to fire in manual. I don't think it is. Have a look. This might be a little bug I've just found. My off camera's turned on, but it's saying it's in manual. So let's just turn the off camera on, on camera, right, fire with the off camera, which should be now in manual mode. You'll see I cannot control it. Yep, you'll see I cannot control it. So I've got no control, so you'd have to have your assistant turn it on down. So now if I turn my on camera, and we will put on some flash exposure compensation, we'll put on a stop and we'll go. So now we are using just off camera, now we're using on camera as well. Did it let me go to manual then? Hang on, let me manual, see if this is working. Let me just try this. I don't think it is. I'll just turn it up to our power. I've actually manually turned my flash on top of the Pixel King, on top of the YN622C into manual, but I don't believe you can do that. Yes, you can. Oh, it never said you could do that. In the manual, it said when you used mix mode that if you look, you can see it's worked as well, look. Oh, so you can turn your on-camera flash into manual. Let me just turn it right down. Turn it right down to 1/28. No, I'll have it on a 16th. Right, so I'll take it again. And you can see it has worked, look, because there's it. Oh, now I never knew you could do that. In the manual, it says that when you use mix mode, your on camera automatically defaults to ETTL, which mine only says it defaults to ETTL. But if you look, it can give me the option to turn it into manual. This might be a little trick, but yeah, I've manually just turned me on camera into manual, which is probably even better because now you can just fire and go. Let me just have a look. Let me get my ratio right. Yeah, I'll turn the on camera down a bit, 1 more. 2 more just for the video. Bang. Right, so I'll just show you. That's with my on camera set nicely. I'll turn my on camera off and show you without the on camera. There's just off camera. There's on camera. So I can turn it back on in a 16 pattern and I can go 1, move, zoom in, zoom out, dock, bob, weave, say bananas, bang. And if you look, all these will be just, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, look, they're all consistent. Oh, that's even better. I didn't know you can do that. So that's good news. In mix mode, when your on camera defaults to ETTL, you can just manually change it. It won't do it from the camera's menu, but you can change it on your flash and it's actually working. But in the book it tells you that your on camera will only work in ETTL in mix mode, but it isn't. You've just seen me. If I just take that shot again And now I will turn the off camera right up, on camera sorry, in manual, on camera, boom, you'll see a massive difference between them two pictures. There's the first one, there's the second. Oh, that's great. That's even better news, because I don't always like ETTL me, as long as I'd rather just do it from camera. So yeah, I hope this video might have gone on a bit, but it's not really, there is a review on YouTube with a lad that's used them. This is more of a review of how to use them and what the bonuses are and what the negatives are. I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe. I know I'm lazy and I've filmed the back of the camera, but you don't really need to see the images. All you need to see is what's happening when I'm messing around with them, and watch the flashes. And you can see they've fired every single time. They've not. I had that little bit of a sporadic one then with the ETTL from camera, but that sometimes happens. It didn't fire on its own. It was just when I took the picture, the on camera decided to go just a little bit too powerful. But that happens anyway with ETTL. That's why I like bloody manual, because I can just go like this. I can just turn it down and go 1, 2, 3, and I know that when I look at them and I get home, they're all the same. Look, 1, 2, 3, and they're all identical, and that's why I like manual. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.